Hello. I just realized I didn't test my microphone. Is it working? And my cameras are set up a little differently today because I'm going to be serging and overlocking. But I need to do one little step on my regular machine. So how are you all? How's it going? It's working. Thank you, Sylvia. Appreciate it. Hi, hi, hi. Loki, come here. You just lay down. He's starting to bark. Cool, thank you. I've spent probably more time setting up machines and cameras than I will sewing. Hi Diane, hi Aisha, hi Rachel, hello Amy, hi Diane, how's it going? Couple Dianes here today. I made one pair. Here, let's put them over here. Yesterday, just to test things out, test the elastic, test my fit changes. Let's see if we can pull this back a little bit more. Hey Julie, hey Margaret, hi Hillary. So up here is the 1/2 inch elastic at the waist. And then I used the 3/8 around the leg. I've adjusted my cover stitch. I think it'll look better than this. I forgot to change my bobbin to white. Hi Terry, hi Jan. So this is basically the method I'll be doing today. So we're going to clean finish the gusset to the body in both spots. Then we overlock or zigzag. Where are you guys? Or you can zigzag the elastic to the leg hole. And then I'm going to cover stitch, or you can zigzag. You don't need a cover stitch at all. And then we'll sew one side seam. Is this the one I did? Yep, we'll sew one side. That's not the side seam. It's, I think this one here. We'll sew one side seam, and then we'll overlock the waistband on, or zigzag it. And then we'll top stitch the waistband with zigzag or cover stitch. Then we'll sew our last side seam here. This one could be cleaned up a little bit more. Not so good. I was experimenting right here. I don't like that. And then the last thing I do is I tack when I sew elastic, like when I sew a seam through a hem like this, I always tack this down. It'll secure it more and it'll make it flatter and more comfortable. And I do it over here too sometimes. Wait, is this, why are both of these like that? One of these is sewn straight through, isn't it? Oh, no, no. Yeah, so both of those are like that. And then this waistband isn't like that, but this waistband is, right? So that's our plan today. They fit really good. I'm excited. Just the inside view. I always do a dark crotch gusset as per a viewer's suggestion. So, hi Rose. Hi Sylvia again. Hi Monica. How's it going all? All right, so I also decided at the last second to do a waistband on a couple of them. I really didn't have enough fabric, so that's why I say it secures it better, Daniel, thanks. The cover stitches won't unravel if they're in the seam though. That won't be a problem because I'm not cover stitching the side seam going this way, and this end will be enclosed. God, this looks really messy right here. In the seam. So that wouldn't be a problem, but it does secure your serging. So I promise I'll make it look a little nicer sometimes. Where's my other one? More like that. But this is the one I experimented with a clean finishing. The serger tail, which I like to do sometimes too. All right, so what I decided is that I'm going to try and sew some of my gussets on with my single needle, with my straight stitch. And the reason I'm doing this is because it'll be less bulky when I get right here to the seam. So when I'm sewing, so when I have this gusset, these two gussets sewn to this seam right here, and we overlock the elastic on here. Can you see how my cover stitch kind of put up a fight right here? It did better on this one. I've adjusted my cover stitch a little bit. There's a skip stitch right there. But I think, oh, I also decreased my thread weight to a text 27 rather than a text 40. So I think that'll help a little bit. And I have, let's see, is this what I need to do? Yeah, we're going to just look at my cover stitch for a second here. All right, so this is my cover stitch. So I have the Juki 1500, and I wanted to tell you the settings that I'm going to use. So if you're using the same machine, you can try it out. I am so cramped in this little corner right here. So I'm using the 3 thread, but meaning 2 needle, and I'm doing narrow. So my needles are to the left. My yellow one, which is my far left needle, I have the tension somewhere between 3 and 5, which is like their kind of normal setting. And same with the right hand needle, which is the green one on this machine. I lightened my tension, my presser foot tension to the L, which, you know me, I usually like it really firm, but not in this case. And then as for the length here, I have it at 3. And then the differential, I'm keeping it normal, but there's some advantages to trying it higher and lower. It just depends on what kind of knit fabric you're using, what kind of thread you're using, what kind of elastic you're using. So never underestimate the power of the differential, because what that does is it changes how your feed dogs are going to interact with your fabric. And that's really important, because that's really what gives you all the problem. Oh, the last setting I did was I changed this tension dial, which is my looper right here. No, I don't want to do that. There we go. To an M. So there's H, M, or L. It's in the middle, M. So I know a few of you have this machine. I got little cups so my table wouldn't move, and it's still moving a little bit. All right. Does that plate come with the machine? This is for a binding attachment. I won't be using that today. Hi, Elizabeth. I thought about using some binding, but I'm not going to do that. It's too much. It's too many things today as far as like the sewing goes. So I thought I'd try and keep it a little bit simple since I'm trying to batch sew. Yeah, the thing about a cover stitch, Julie, is you don't really need one for home sewing, but they are really nice for certain things. So it's kind of like, do you buy the espresso machine if you only occasionally have a cappuccino? That's the way I look at it. So I do like it, but I admit to a degree of, okay, I got to like get my cover stitch hat on. And by far there are probably other people that are more well-versed in all the subtleties of their cover stitch and can probably tell you a lot more. I can get into that groove, and eventually I will probably by the end of the stream be like, oh yeah, this is what I like to do. This is what I like to do. I find this, I find that. We're not there yet, I'm sorry. And then it'll be months before we get here again, and I'll be like, all right, what do I like again? So, okay, Terry, I will yell at you. I'm gonna go get just a piece of gum to have on hand real quick because, you know, it's high pollen season. All right, so I'm also going to iron on some tricot to the waistbands that I plan on sewing. So originally I bought tricot from Waywack. This is how I discovered how much I like fusible tricot is because I bought their widths, their 3, 2, and 1 inch widths. I bought the 3 inch width. And I was like, this is awesome. it doesn't stretch the way I thought it would. I thought it would stretch going the length of it, and I was going to use it on knit areas to kind of stabilize it, and it doesn't. It stretches across the short width. But then I was like, this stuff's kind of useful anyway, so I use it for lots of things. But I bought a bolt of tricot so that I could do things across the width. So we're going to try that today. So, you like a cover stitch? I have the same one as Saremy. It took some time to get used to though. Yeah. This isn't my first cover stitch. This is my... Oh, I don't know. I think it might only be my second one, my second home cover stitch. So yeah, each one is its own little personality, right? So, all right. So I was just setting up this machine because I forgot I was going to use it today. So let's pull some things through. Sorry, my camera is probably not going to be looking at you much over here. You guys are way over there. Yeah, exactly, Monica. Yeah, I think my coffee analogy was actually a pretty good one. What do we think needle this is? Don't remember, but we're going to change it because we're doing some knits here. So let me just get my whole drawer out here. These are 10 and 20s. These are 12s. Oh, here we go. Ballpoint and 18s. Here we go. So if you're sewing knits, there are stretch needles and there are jersey needles. If your fabric has a lot of lycra in it, I suggest using stretch needles. And yes, it will make a big difference. It's the difference between skip stitches or no skip stitches, basically. So yeah, huge difference. And if you want to learn more about that, just go to a website like Schmetz, the needle company, and look at their information. It's so valuable. So, hey, Tiffany. Yeah, so, all right. So the other thing I didn't do is I was going to spend a little time putting some of these together. We're just in the thick of it already. So let's see, we have navy blue and black. We'll put, how many is this? This is just one. You get navy blue. I think navy blue with this will look good. We'll do navy blue here. We'll do one of each here. Here. We're doling out gussets. We're not going to get to all these though. I think I have 17 cut out, and we're only going to, we're only going to, my goal is 10 today. So, hi Danielle. It's my Friday, she knows that. Yeah, I do think hemming knits on a cover stitch is nice. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'm not trying to sell you guys on a cover stitch. That's what I'm telling you. I'm trying to de-influence you. Like I said, you do not need one. All right, so I'm going to get, let's see, what can you see here? My cords are just struggling. In the ink camera, the way I can adjust the camera is so limited this way, so I'm really sorry. This is maybe that. What do you think of that? You haven't opened your binder yet? That's quite a project, I understand. Okay, so we have one front, one back. All right. One gusset that's in main fabric and one gusset that's in my lining, right? So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take our front and we're gonna put our main gusset right sides together and our lining gusset right side to wrong side. Did we change the bobbin thread? We did not change the bobbin thread. You guys are slacking. Let's see here. Oh, we did change the needle, right? Yeah, we changed it. We're using white thread because we're batch sewing, and I don't want to hear about it. So, yeah. Just moving my machine in my space, it will sound differently, and it really throws me off. All right, let's see how this does on the knit. If this doesn't do really well on the knit, then we'll just overlock them and I'll deal with the thicknesses, but I'd rather not. And this machine is attached, the camera is attached to this machine, so I'm really sorry about that. You're going to see some vibration. But if we can get a few of these, this will be a lot less thick if we can use this machine to just sew these together. All right, so now we're going to do the other one, so the back. So we're going to put our back right sides together to the gusset. Remember, you always want to line it up on the seam juncture. Do not line it up like this with the raw edges, right? It won't match. Pattern question. If you cut off the elastic on the waist, do you have to add back for fabric at the top since you will be turning it under for the elastic after you serge the elastic? No. Wait. Wait, there's a couple comments. Okay, so if you cut off your elastic and you're only cutting off that elastic edge right at the seam line, if you're cutting it right at the seam line, then all you need to add is seam allowance, whatever you need to use to attach the elastic to the underwear. You don't fold over Picot, so don't worry about that. I'm not sure what Tiffany's meaning, but Picot has seam allowance built onto it. So like if you look at, where's the sewn pair? Right here. So see how the Picot, my Picot is barely sticking out from the edge because it's pretty narrow stuff, right? It says it's 3/8, but my seam allowance is a pretty healthy 1/4 inch, right? So it's going to take that up and that's what's going to stick out. Seam allowance is always extra. So if you were to say, we cut this elastic off right here, that's the seam line, right? Nothing's folding back except seam allowance, but that's seam allowance, right? I don't know how else to describe that. Does that make sense? Use your cover stitch quite a single needle for hemming jeans, lots of elastic top stitching on pajama shirts, but I agree it's the least used. Yeah, exactly. You're using regular, you're enclosing it, so you need to allow for what's enclosing your elastic, whatever that is. So if you are, meaning you're going to do a casing, so the fold line of your fabric is after that, that's the amount that you want to add. So the fold line is the seam line, in essence, because it's your finished edge. You fold Picot over? How are you guys folding Picot over? I mean, there's fold over elastic that has a Picot edge, but that's a little different. It's fold over. You fold Picot over? How would you fold Picot over? Maybe yours is different than mine. All right. So that makes sense, Amy? Yeah. So add the casing that you want in order to cover your elastic. Now, if your casing is ending at your elastic edge, then that, and then that's, you're not turning it under, in other words, and top stitching it and letting the elastic move freely. So. Sew facing and then turn back. I don't know what that means. Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, Amy. Yeah, my experience, I like enclosing the elastic. It is softer as far as like against your skin. It'll be a little thicker is all. And it might feel, depending on your elastic, what you're using inside, it might not feel as stretchy. So that's all. All right, I'm going to keep going. I can't see chat over here, so I don't really like that. All right, so here we're going to do the burrito on the other side here. So right sides together. And then I'm going to take this one here and pull it right side to wrong side, like that. This is so fiddly, huh? Does it look fiddly when I'm doing it too? If you're someone who likes to pin the whole seam, then burrito method probably drives you crazy. I only use it for things like this. But it is one of those things where you just have to sew a little bit, line up the next part, sew a little bit, line up the next part. And then once you pull this all, you have a nicely enclosed gusset. All right, one down. Uh-oh, Julie. I don't know what that means, but that doesn't sound good. I'm sorry. All right, so this is the back. All right, so I have my little notches telling me. All right, so anybody who's sewing with me, get cracking. Get all your gussets. We're going to do all of our gussets. Then we're going to do all of our elastic. Then we're going to top stitch a bunch. Then we're going to do more elastic. We're going to do a seam in there. I'm going to do 10 pairs right now. Loki finally gave up on me over here, which is great because he kept wanting to lay next to my feet. It was driving me crazy. My big old foot pedal for operating the machine is right there. So yeah, when you look at this, it's a hot mess, right? Just tune it out. Just focus on only this little bit that's in front of you. It'll be a little less mind-boggling. So I get a little bit together. I find when you're sewing curves, especially convex to concave, it's easier to not use pins because you can control that curve a lot easier. All right, 2. Thanks, you guys. The fabric wants to, I feel like, Monica. All right, I'm least excited about this pair and this pair. We're going for satisfaction here, right? We're going for, if I never get to those for another year, let's give ourselves the nicest ones, right? Oh my gosh. I bundled these so carefully and now I'm just like ripping them apart. Here we go, okay. Yeah, I'm using a straight stitch. You don't have to. I'm doing that, Hillary, because of the bulk of the overlocked seams. I was showing at the beginning how right here, when I overlock this gusset, you see how thick that is? That's partly the thread. I have decreased my thread weight to Tex 27, and I'm also going to do this. So let's see. Like, I think that's a lot thinner than this right here. Every little bit's going to count because then when I overlock the elastic to this edge and I go to cover stitch it, see how my cover stitch was like, wah, I don't want to do that. And now I've tweaked my settings on my cover stitch as well, so it'll behave a little better, it'll like it a little better, but at the same time, like, we're ensuring success. That's my motto. So I'm just doing all my gussets first. Where is the notches? Hello. Here, this one has notches, which I think would be, I'm just gonna make sure I know for this one. Okay, so that end is the notches. All right, good to know. All right, let's just get these done so we can get to the other machines. And I can look at chat. This isn't an area of the body where you are stretching this little seam, and you can sew knits. If you are worried about this, by the way, let me show you. If you're worried because I'm like sewing a straight stitch seam right here with these knits, oh my God, it's so fiddly. Then once you get sewing and you have your needle down in there, stretch the fabric like this, and then sew your seam. And now look, see, it won't pop. That's all. No, you don't need stretch across that little seam. But if you are worried about it, you know, you can stretch it while you sew it, and then it'll be stretchy. If you're someone like me who, for the life of them, can't put their leg through the hole of their underwear without catching the elastic on their toe, you probably want to make that seam stretchy. I feel like, man, did my foot change where it's at on my body? Because putting on my like pants and things has gotten so hard lately. This edge is starting to curl, so we're just going to pretend like it's not curling. Boop. 3. Okay. It's very subtle which side is the right side of this fabric. Okay, and we said this is the back, yeah. Stretch and sew, exactly. Yeah, before there were sergers, there was some time where we were making knits. Knits aren't very old, besides hand knits, right? Which is probably one of the oldest styles of creating fabric. But yeah, sergers weren't even used to sew knits for a really long time. They didn't exist. I just get that one little corner started. I always stop needle down. My machine does it automatically for me. If you have that setting, I encourage you to try it out. It's great. It's like a helping hand, right? The machine's holding this while I put this all together. I bought 3 new cameras yesterday, but that means I'm gonna have to take my computer in because I have to get more USB-C drive ports. Hi Nancy, how's it going? Oh gosh, I did that live on camera, I should remember. On my Myosotis dress. How's this fabric look on camera? Does it look kind of crazy? It's a little much, isn't it? Oof, black fabric. I have no lighting over here either. Like I didn't turn it on. How many do we have so far? We have 4. This is 5, halfway. Yeah, that was dramatic. An infant. Whenever your current sewing machine breaks, then I will definitely replace with sewing machine with that needle down option. Oh yeah. It does seem like most machines come with it now, like home machines. So I think you'd be pretty safe if you got a new one. If you got a used machine, I would just check because there are a lot that have it. I feel like, does my little Bernina do that? I honestly can't remember. Where's the cherries? Yeah, we need the cherries for sure. Just because I'm kind of excited about trying all these different fabrics out. Okay. How bad is the camera jiggle when I sew? Is it annoying? It won't be like that on the sergers. These are shiny. If you're doing the kind of gusset where you only have one seam, like your gusset is a little piece, and then the outer gusset is built on like as a part of the front or the back, I recommend top stitching your loose edge of your gusset down. You'll know what I mean if you're sewing this kind. And you can use your straight stitch machine. I mean, that's mostly what people do. I have to go back a little bit. Yeah, old iPhones do make excellent streaming cameras, but there's definitely some issues with that when you are live streaming and you're using multiple cameras like I do. If I was only streaming from the phone, yeah, the quality of an iPhone, so good. But there's just problems with using it like as a camera in a streaming software. That's the back, yeah. Yay, cherries. Yeah, Elizabeth, I think mine does too. I am one of those people suddenly who has a few machines I use all the time. I can't keep track because my new home Juki, it does as well. And so sometimes like, oh, so this is one thing I keep doing is that I keep telling myself, I've written myself notes twice now to make sure I pick up some of my stretch needles from home. And then I get there and I'm like, where are they? Well, duh, I don't sew anything stretch on that machine at all. There are no stretch needles there because I bought a bunch of needles when I got that machine. I just kind of like bought it its own little set. And that's this, and I did it last night too because I am like on my last ones. So let's hope today goes good since we're using so many of them today. You getting those thread nests, Julie? I did a quick fix in the Guild. It's one of the very first ones, and it's on starting a seam. So you might, I kind of missed your first comment, so if I'm wrong with what you're talking about. So right here, you see how I'm going to start right at the edge of this fabric? What you can do is put a piece of scrap fabric up against it, sew on that, and then go on to your project, and you won't have any problems with that. The issue usually is because of your, they get stuck into your feed dogs, right? So if you can kind of give your presser foot something to be on top of, you know, like you need sandwich fixings inside your, between your presser foot and your, sorry, I'm trying to concentrate, your presser foot and your feed dogs. And then you just cut this off, right? It's called a header or a bumper or something like that. I don't remember. Quilters do it a lot. So yeah. Oh yeah, exactly, Danielle. Yeah, you and I can't do like Yeah, I have a Stream Deck too. This isn't my first rodeo. Okay, I will explain it. I did at the very beginning, so I promise I'm not trying to gatekeep anything. So here is, I'll do the first one here. My gosh, I'm getting myself confused here. We'll do that on the front. Okay. Here's my first one. How many pairs am I up to? Anyone counting? Is this potentially my 10th? All right, so we get this first seam. All right, so here we have our first seam, right? So now we're gonna lay, you can do this in any order you like. I'm gonna put my right sides together to my gusset here, and I'm gonna take the inner gusset and just flip it so that the right side is against the wrong side there. Just like that. And this is what I was talking about, like, don't worry about getting the whole thing pinned. If you're a pinner, it may feel a little uncomfortable. Just get that little edge started. Stop needle down, and now let the machine, and if your machine doesn't stop needle down, just rotate your hand wheel forward, always toward you. I know it's over there, but I know you can't see it. Always toward you, put the needle down. And then, I don't know why I keep daydreaming, sorry. All right, and so then we have these 3 layers. You don't have to get them all lined up all the way down, just get it part way. Focus on that little inch in front of you. Remember, always lining up at the juncture there, and it'll look like this until you go boop. There we go. So let's see how many we have here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. I mean, 2 more. 2 more. All right. We have I don't think I put a single gusset in upside down, so I'm pretty happy about that. Because I thought that would happen, honestly. That's right? Why does that line up so perfectly? There's always one easy one, right? No, I did look at that. I knew it. I was like, why does that look like that? That's so funny. I finally did one wrong. It's hilarious. Yeah, this isn't the taco method. I don't do yokes using the burrito method because that didn't exist when I was learning to sew. I do something yeah, similar. Yeah, no problem. Oh yeah, I could show that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm doing it kind of my taco method, I guess. So I don't roll it up. Yeah, sorry about that. You know, I've reflected a lot about how different I do things now from the first day I started streaming 6 years ago. And when I first started sewing with home sewers, I mean, you know, I've always been a home sewer per se, right? But at the same time, I had mostly only been sewing for production, right? And I don't think I realized when I first started how different I sewed. And I have slowly, you know, changed to sew more like a home sewer. And I've been kind of reflecting on that, and it's been really interesting to think back on that, you know, like I really think my sewing has gotten better because of it. There's still some things though that I'm still kind of hardwired. Oh yeah, so if you do the roll-up method, basically oh my God, I don't even know if I can do, oh yeah, so we would roll this up. So this is an easier way to do this. So this is my front right here, and this is the gusset. You can roll up the front like this, right? And then now you have this right sides together, right? Is that how you do that? I don't even know how you do this. It's just, I don't do this because it wrinkles the fabric. Am I about to make a mistake? Is that how you do this? I don't know how to do that. I know how to do it for one-piece facings. So if I do that and then we put the back in here too, right? We roll that up like that. Let's see what happens. I just never do this part. I never did and I never like grabbed onto the burrito method for the yoke because I just find it will wrinkle my fabric, and I don't know, I just don't. There's nothing wrong with the burrito method at all. I just don't do it that way. Now I can just do this, right? It's all gonna work, right? Yeah, okay. Here we go. So there you go. That might be a little easier if you're not liking my kind of cavalier. Just bend it around and do some gymnastics. And I learned something new too. We'll try it again. All right, so this is the back. You need to sew the back on. Oh, because you could do it in 2 steps, right? Okay, this is number 10. All right, so let's do it again. Wait, I go like this, and I roll this one up. This is the back this time, right? And then here's the front. We roll that one up. I kind of like this. On knits, it's a little easier, a little less fiddly. I'm just not, you could do it to one and then flip it around and do the other. I'm just doing it all at the same time. And then you end up with this. Boop. There you go. Got to get a good boop. All right, we have 10. All right, so, sorry, we got the funky setup today. Oh, you know what I got, guys? I'm gonna have to use it right now too. Check out this. I have, because of my streaming setup, watch. Just ignore the cord to the right. Like, I have an app now. Pretty cool, huh? There we go. Future. I was actually really kind of excited about this because I was thinking about my parents and how they have like super, super, super high windows, and the sun blasts them in the morning and in the evening. It rises in one and it sets in the other, and I was like, oh, this is perfect, and they market it for that. You know what the problem with this is? That dumb cord right there. So that cord right there, you don't have to have it plugged in all the time, but that's to charge the remote sensor so you can operate it. You can get a remote control or use an app, and the remote control is $25, so I just use the app. But you would have to have that, you would have to charge that thing occasionally. So if you're someone trying to get away with dealing with your really, really high up windows and putting blinds on these fancy blinds on it, you'd still have to get out there occasionally and charge that thing. So I don't know how long it'll last, the charge will last, but this was essential for me because at the time the stream setup went all the way across here and I couldn't reach that blind. So, future. All right. So, let's lay things out a little bit here. Let's get them all lined up nice. Or somewhat nice, right? So the two I'm gonna do a waistband on is this one and the cherries, I think. So we need to, I'm gonna try the interfacing, the tricot. If I were actually batch sewing these, this is not at all how I would be doing it. Like if I were production sewing, just so you know. I know I'm not doing this the most fast way possible. Like as I sewed each gusset, I would have bundled them differently, and as I sewed each gusset, I would have laid it down like this, ready for the next step, or however I wanted, right? I wouldn't do it that way. So, all right, let's go. We can still lay these out. Did I do this one wrong? Here's another one I did wrong. Did I do any others wrong, you guys? Oy. I'm so funny. Who distracted me here? Who was it? Oh, man. Live streaming and sewing is fun. You know, I feel like today we would get, I don't know how many, oh yeah, I kind of felt like, there's Ray. It wasn't you. How's it going, Ray? I was thinking today there would be a few extra people tuning in because they're hoping for sewing drama because there's knits. I mean, really, you're here because you love sewing underwear, and that's why you're here. It's not at all because you wanted drama. Not at all. You guys are innocent. We missed you too, Ray. It was Ray. Yeah, as soon as you say it isn't Ray, you know Julie's going to be all on your case. All right. And then we're going to iron on my elastic. I wonder if that was the first seam that I did, the one I did wrong. This one right here. We are not, oh, we are, wait a minute. Oh yeah, we were right. Okay, sorry. All right, here we go. I'm a little worried that this isn't the... It's not. It's not. I knew it. I could tell by the stretch. This isn't the right... Oh, wait. It's not. That was the sewing fairy. Oh, no. That I had originally sewn the correct one. I could tell by the stretch that I wasn't on the correct seam right there. So yeah. Oops. Hi Kim, welcome. Question, does it matter if the underwear pattern is a one piece or two pieces? When I drafted mine, I kept the front and back as one piece. I think really just for fabric usage, you might find it a little harder to, you know, fit it onto your fabric. Thanks for joining, Kim. Caught me at a mistake. There will be more than that today, for sure. I could tell when I was pulling that to stretch, that to sew, I was like, that's not stretching. Good thing this stretch was different in the length and the width, so I could tell. Because maybe it wouldn't have been. All right, so it's our last gusset. If you're just joining us, I'm single needling, or I mean, well, I am single needling, but I'm straight stitching the gussets on to reduce the bulk rather than overlocking them. Reducing the bulk for when I attach the elastic so that the junctures of this particular gusset seam right here isn't so thick. Because my cover stitch was a little whiny about it when I did my test. So that's how we learn, yeah. Well, that was my 10th one, so I should have known better. But thanks for the hoping that that's... In this case, I should have known better. All right. All right, we're going to go over to the ironing board here. I don't really have this camera in the right place, do I? This will do for this right here, though, right? So we're just going to... Now, I don't really think this is necessary. In fact, I think if Malin were here, she would probably say, don't do that. But it's an experiment. On this fabric in particular, I don't think I need to. I'm going to make a cloth waistband on 2 pairs. That's what this is for. I barely had enough fabric. This right here is the, it's a very lycra-y legging type of fabric from Spoonflower. It's shiny. It doesn't really need it, and the reason it doesn't is partly because the fabric doesn't roll. We're just experimenting here, which I really like to do on my channel, so I don't mind. I will suffer with weird underwear, and I have been for like a year or two. Okay. But this one here, this one rolls like a mother trucker, right? So, and I actually have enough to do 2 waistbands, but I'm only going to do 1. I forgot this was on the fold. But see, look at that. See how it's rolling? So one of my tips, which is not pertinent to me at this moment, would be when you cut things out like this, I'm getting my ruler. I highly recommend, if you don't have starch, you don't have to starch it, but if you have starch, which is, I'm kind of new to starch, to be honest, I would spray the starch on, let it dry, and then I would lay your ruler on it like this, and I wouldn't touch it until you're ready to sew it and put a weight on it. So make sure when you start, and what I usually do is I will very carefully fold it all up and make a little nice neat stack. Like that? No. A nice neat stack. Look at this one's much nicer. See that? And put my ruler on it and I leave it. If you can't cut and sew within a couple hours, do this. You will thank me. Okay? The reason that one got out of control was because I wrapped it around me and pulled. I stretched a little bit, which was the worst thing I could have done. So we're just going to put this, I'm using Tricot, which stretches, this interfacing stretches. I usually like to iron it face up though, like you saw I do on the cherries. So I can't see chat, sorry, I'm gonna look in just a second. Yeah, oh, I love a fabric waistband, but I've been trying to experiment with using Tricot as a stabilizer for some of these fabrics that really are a pain in the butt to deal with. I don't know about you guys, but you know, when I die, I'm hoping someone's going to tally up all the things I lost some years of my life to, and one of those years is going to be dedicated to knits that curled. They're going to be like, yep, and here, right here at the bottom, curling knits. Yep, you were right. Shortened your life by about 8 months and 12 days. But all the knits I like are the kind that curl. This right here is just garbage now. I'm not going to even look at that ever again. You can't iron knits flat, by the way, so whoever out there is going, just iron it flat. Let's try. Oh, this one's going to behave. Jerk. Thanks for proving me wrong. Well, cotton lycra, it won't. I know it won't. All right. Whew. Where are we at? We're at this one here. Okay, so, oh, I moved my machine. That's why it's like that. All right, we really need some space here. So let's move these and these. If you are just joining, here's my plan today. Go over it one more time. So I'm using a 1/2 inch Picot, brushed Picot for the waist, and a 3/8 inch for the leg. These are the two. This is the leg right here. This is the waist. I'm overlocking it on. You can zigzag it on. And then I turn and I top stitch. You can zigzag, 3-point zigzag, 3-step zigzag. I don't know what it's called. Or cover stitch. I'm going to cover stitch today. I have a whole video about like what method is best for maximum stretch in particular. And I'll try and remember to link that in this video. I also released a video this morning that's kind of a casual video about how to copy your own underwear, and it's linked in the description too. So, hi Terry, how's it going? I need my mouse. What did I miss here? All right, working and lurking. A charm pack, well, that sounds fun. That was definitely something very Yeah, Julie and Ray, you both haven't been missing each other because you both have been busy. All right, let's bring this up here. All right, so yeah, the steps I'm going to do, let me just go over them really quick. Here's the underwear, right? These are so granny panty looking. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I did the gussets, which I just did all these gussets. I do a dark gusset for reasons. And then we're going to have our, we have our big open leg, right? We're going to overlock or zigzag the elastic to the legs. Then we're going to turn and we're going to top stitch those, cover stitch or zigzag, whatever you want. Then we're going to sew one side seam. I think it's this one I did over here, right? So one side seam. So then we have one leg hole is done and this one is not. And then we attach our elastic to the waist, turn and top stitch, and then we do our last side seam, and then I do this little securing stitch right here to reduce the bulk right there and to secure the seam. All right. Yeah, we're going for comfort these days, right? Okay, so I have a lot of elastics. We don't need the black, we just need the white. And I really want to use up some of these right here. These are nice ones too. So I got all these from Stitch Love Studio, all these on here. They're really nice. this one's nice and wide. Look at that one. That one's pretty. This is a wide waist elastic. I might save this one. More Picot. And this also I got as a waist elastic. I think I'm actually wearing undershorts right now with this on there. I like saving these for undershorts, like this wider one, you know. Great for underwear too. So, okay, so I have some beige. I didn't get any fun colors from Waywack. They have 3 colors, and you can guess what they are. They do have fun colors in some of their elastics. They just not in these. All right, we're gonna get rid of this steel pin. And I'm just going to, this is so weird how this one's going. Which one is this is the end, okay. I don't know why this has the pin here. I'm just gonna throw away the pin. These pins make me a little nervous. This doesn't have a pin on it? What? Okay. This one doesn't either, and this one, we're gonna throw this pin away too. So we have wide, wide. I'm just sort of organizing them on my table here. And then these are all my Picots. Here's my 2 waistbands. And let's try it on a pair I care less about first. This crazy pair here. All these fabrics I got as they were like a half yard special, $1.50 for a half yard. So you just found sleeveless Nico I cut out months ago. I should put that. You should. Underwear and undershorts. Hi Sherry, how's it going? My undershorts that I wear under dresses, so they're actual shorts, but I make them in just a really soft way with a nice gusset, so no seams, and I wear them in place of underwear. Exactly, Fiona. It's hardly anonymous anymore. So yeah, Sherry, I just find that I wear a lot of dresses and I don't like my thighs touching. So yeah, I wear undershorts. It's very hot where I live, so it just cuts down on a layer. All right, so I'm going to pre-cut some of my elastics here, but one thing I'm going to recommend you do before you are cutting your elastics, we want cream or white. Maybe this, I don't have one that matches this. So let's mark on the table some measurements so that we don't have to do this over and over. So we're gonna do, so what I recommend is don't, I know you want to pre-cut your elastic, and I know elastic is expensive. This is why I got this on the spools. This is more affordable. This is nicer. Elastic can get expensive, and you need like 2, sometimes 3 yards per pair, waist plus legs, okay? So I know you want to get like every inch out of it, right? Especially if you have to buy cut yardage, because then you're like, oh my gosh, I got 3 yards, but I'm only using 2. I have this 1 weird yard extra, right? You know, so I get it. So it is a weird way to use elastic. But please, for the love of your sanity, give yourself a ½ inch extra on each end so you have something to hold on to when you're sewing, okay? Just trust me on that. So, yeah. Do you use the same fabric you're using now for undershorts? I do. Yeah, I do. I do. My favorite underwear and undershorts is going to be a very unpopular choice, and it's like bamboo knits, rayon knits, things that will not last long. And it's just because they're so comfortable, and I don't care about compression. I could care less anymore. So, yeah, unless you need compression for other things. So, 18 right here. All right, so this is my leg. amount here. So I'm just marking it on my table here. Okay. And then we're actually going to do one a little bit longer for my waist. Like right here. So now we have it. I didn't do it with a Sharpie, so those who really know me well are very proud of me right now, because usually I just mark on my machine with Sharpie. Yeah, slip shorts, yeah, totally. Those are nice too. Today I wish I had some, like, these undershorts are a little grabby for this dress. All right, so the Picot, I'm gonna do the shorter length. I'm just gonna cut a few. Oh, pre-stretch your elastic. So just give it a good stretch before you cut it. And I'm going to actually check my measurement to see, is it the end of my tape here? 18. 23, 24. Oh yeah, so we need to change that a little bit. We don't want them to be too big. Have you ever had elastic leg holes that are too big? That's really comfortable. But yeah, we're going to make sure we want this. We're going to go end to end. I'm saying it out loud for myself. I know you don't care. And then we want 4 inches more. So we're moving this one just a little bit. It's kind of surprising how little difference there is between your waist and your legs sometimes. For me, at least. Exactly, Tiffany. Depends on what pants you're wearing, right? All right, so now we have 2 legs. Let's do a couple more. Oh, sorry, I wish I'd have been more prepared. I'm just pre-stretching it a little bit. I feel a little clunky today, you know. Usually I used to have like a, well, I still do, like a notions area, and I would just do this, you know, pre-cut everything so I don't have to think, because I did the thinking. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3. Who wants cream? I think we want white now. Yeah, I can't remember where I put that undershorts post. Was it just in the guild? Like, it wasn't one of the quick fixes, right? I don't think so. Just kind of unwind in a bunch. Two. 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 All right. Let's do some of this cute pink. I don't like these. This must be so much work that they do this. Look how nice this packaging is. I don't really like it for like drawing off the things. That's why I got those spools. But it's so nice that they didn't just send it in a lump bag. You know, like a lump in a bag. Because I've gotten elastic like this. This isn't as stretchy. It's not as stretchy. add like an inch maybe. I don't know if it was a pattern report. That's what I was wondering too. It might have been. It should have been. Because yeah, it's the Dulce boxer briefs is the pattern I use. I really like how high-waisted they are. And high-waisted is really great for dresses because it puts all of the like shaping of the shorts out of the way of style lines for the dress usually. You know? Oh, thanks, Aisha. All right, that's all I'm going to cut for now. Let's see. 2. Yeah. That's 10. Where are we going to put this? We know they're not going to stay there. We can put our seam ripper over here. We also don't need them because of the, oh no, that's the waistband. Okay. So we're going to do 3. All right, so we're going to do a few waistbands. What waistband am I going to do to match with the pink? Did I have a pink waistband originally? I might have. I'm being so cavalier right now, I know. I just want to get sewing. That's how it begins. And then it goes downhill from there. Okay, that's 4. And we'll do 4 of this. And then we're ready. Then we sew in. Knit, sewing, and undershorts. Okay, it's not a quick fix, right? I don't think so. I don't know why that would be. Nice, Julie. Okay, thanks, Aisha. I feel like I have done a pattern report of those. Okay. If this were still my factory, there would be a little bar, and I would hang these from that bar. Just like hanging off the wall here or something. That's what I would do normally. All right. I kind of want to hang this off this camera here. There we go. Maybe we'll hang all these off this other camera. Okay. You guys get the leg elastics. Here we go. Looks great. All right, we're ready to sew. And what are we saying color-wise here? What do we think? We want this as a white, maybe the pink and white stripe. Well, this could get pink. I think maybe this gets cream. Cream. White. Cream. That's 2. And this is 4 plus 2. This is going to get white. Okay, and then this will get cream. Okay, that's how we're doing that. Okay. Better to know now so I don't kind of get myself in a corner. This is white. Oh, thanks, Aisha. That's nice of you. All right. I'm going to put this rat's odds together. I have this set. Well, actually, this is going to be kind of a test because I sort of want this to be narrower. So that means I'm going to change the cut width and tighten the tension up. Let's just see what we get actually before we, so which foot pedals is this? I did sort of a short stitch length so I'd get denser threads there. We can actually change the cut width a little more. I can see a tiny bit of a wrinkle. So this one's too tight. That looks pretty good. Cut width could be a little bit bigger. You can kind of see that bead of thread along the top. There's a tiny bit of space between it and the fabric. So I just changed the cut width, which is the width of the fabric inside here. I made it a little wider. A little more. That looks like it hasn't changed at all. I want it to be narrower though. That looks really good, but I want it to be narrower. That looks okay. It's not bad. So I can see the thread pulling to the side a tiny bit, so I'm loosening that seam allowance or tension disc. Yeah, just fiddling with the knobs. Read the manual, fiddle with the knobs. Don't be that person that's just like, the manual has nothing to teach me. Unless it's an old machine and the manual's not good, or it's a new machine and the manual's not good. I got some really great tips on my cover stitch just today on sewing the cover stitch with elastic in there. So, okay, I bet this is going to be the right one. That's narrower. Got the elastic on, or the thread on the edge. I think that's good. All right. Let's do this. So sometimes what I do is I will clip one end and then clip the other end. I don't mess around with pins and the serger. And then I will figure out where the middle is. Sometimes I use my mouth. I go. But this doesn't have to stretch that much, so it should be fine. All right. I don't have a foot for putting on elastic, just so you know. I have the foot that you could put tape in here. So say you were, we can tighten this up a little bit. Say you were putting clear elastic in the shoulders of something. That's what that's for. It's not for putting on elastic. I might not use clips at all for the next one. Don't you get hung up on that seam. I'm trying not to trim any of my elastic. What was that? So see, having this to hold on to right here, it comes in clutch. Just saying. All right, here we go. Yeah, you can put the blade down. I don't like doing that though. I feel like it doesn't look as nice. Yep, chomp chomp. I was watching a Serge Overlock channel earlier as well, sewing elastic. Oh really? That's great. I bet they were better than me. Like I was saying at the beginning, I don't do this very often. And by the end of the stream, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's what I like doing, but whatever. You guys know that you're really just here to see me struggle. Come on. I don't know why you're getting... You know, I didn't really focus on setting my serger up for thicknesses, so... It does pretty good on him. It's just getting a little hung up now. I have a lot left this time. Oops. We'll get more. We'll get better. That leg's going to be a little tighter than the other leg. All right, and then the next step will be the cover stitch. Okay. Next. Next, what is this? This is all the cream, right? Okay. This is the cream, yeah, okay. I'm a little nervous I did the wrong one. You also don't like it either. That's funny. Yeah, I don't like the way it looks. I never put the blade down, and I forget that you can do that. And I'll be streaming and say, make sure you don't cut this. They're like, just put your blade down. I'm like, Because see, like right here, I didn't trim that, right? So, like, can you see that little bit hanging out from the edge there? I didn't trim that, so what would happen if I didn't use the blade? It would chunk it up in there, right? It would like... If I give it a nice gentle pull, then it won't get so hung up on the seam. No, 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 don't get on there. I'm trying to trim off that under gusset, and it grabbed the elastic. This fabric acts so different than the last one. Oh, we just ruined this pair. I knew it. Oh, I just ruined this pair. I'm a professional. That's why we have 10. This one curls. You got to be careful. That's what you're here for though, right? So much better when I just ignore you guys. It didn't eat the fabric. It's that it was curling, and I just thought it was the curled edge. And so look, so see how I went along the edge there? Look, it was actually curling so much it was folding over. Boop. So yeah, didn't eat it. It sewed it beautifully. I just wasn't paying, I just saw that little curl and I was like, that's okay, that's okay. I can deal with that. And then the curl had caught, like turned into a fold. So, you know. I can see the little cut edge, nice and splayed, and I'll usually use this like right here, like this, to flatten it out. Over the seams. I'm using 4 thread. You can use 3 thread if you want, but I like a nicer seam on the side seam. I'm not going to change it over for both. You watch the video, put it down, copying. Oh, nice, Jan. I have 2, Amy. All right. Next, I think this is the fabric I like the best out of all the ones that I cut. And the one I just had to scrap. I like that one a lot too. I'm trying to put, like this side looks like the right side, but it's also a little softer. So that's why I keep kind of going, do I want that against my leg or me? It's going to be covered with thread. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, we've all done that. Yeah. Like you know, occasionally I'll use a pin. I don't care how good you are. Using a pin on a serger, it's not an if, but it's a win. And it's just because I feel like even if you are really good, it might even be more likely to happen because you're so confident. Yeah, I got to make sure I do, like this one I got a little extra, right, off that. I got to do the same on this one. And it's just because the fabric feeds a little differently each time. So I'm going to leave that on there so I know exactly how much to get extra. I love that little 1/2 inch there so that I can get the serger kind of going, and then I can still slide the fabric under there a little bit to get it lined up to the blade. So I know not everybody likes to batch sew. It's not that you don't like it. It's more like you don't probably have the reason to do it. Like how often are you making 10 of anything, right? But I was going to ask, how hard is it that you don't get to go to the next step right now? Like, do you guys like that? You know, like, or is it driving you crazy that I'm not going to the next step? Why not mark the quarters and use wonder clips? I could. I just find it really fussy and it takes longer and it's not going to make that much of a difference for the like stretch of it. So marking quarters would be quarters, that's way too many. I would maybe do it in half, but I wouldn't do quarters. That's too short of a distance. I only do quarters when it's a waistband. And a waistband is also a little harder because you are stretching far more fabric into a far smaller thing. Whereas underwear, it's not much different size-wise. You're not trying to get this leg hole down to a much smaller circumference. You're just trying to secure it so that it stays against the body, right? Whereas a waistband, you could have like a really large amount of fabric that you're trying to cinch in there. Then I do quarters for sure. There's a lot nicer ways you could do what I'm doing right now. I'm totally aware of that. I'm already missing one cream elastic. How'd that happen? Did somebody get a cream and a white on one pair? That'd be unfortunate. You guys would tell me if I did that, right? No, no, I didn't. Huh. Oh yeah, kid pajamas would be a good one to do. Does this my end? Yeah. You get bored. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who don't like batch sewing at all. I love it. I love production sewing though. And it was really interesting growing up with my mom who will do really large like projects. And she used to work at a school. So then she would make a gift for every person that worked there during the holiday season. And I would visit and she would just happen to have that project going when I would get there because she knew she could just plunk me down and go, okay, I need you to attach the eyeballs to this wooden spoon for all of these and be like 100, you know? I'm like, okay, I'll just do it. I love production sewing and stuff. Hi, Justine, nice to see you. Ooh, that'll be cute, Julie. Go faster. Okay, we just have this little pile here now. And we're doing pinks and whites. Yay. Let's see how this stuff sews. It might feel a little different. It definitely feels firmer, but I do think the stretch is the same. It feels nice. Look at that, it's a nice little edge. I have to admit, I like sewing fold over elastic better. It's less steps. It's a lot easier. But I don't like, it doesn't stretch as much, like as far as a leg hole goes. But it's softer. You know, there's like advantages and disadvantages to all these things, right? Okay, are you on there? I'm gonna grab my thread tail. Okay, you are. It feels really different. I feel like I'm gonna run out. Maybe I should pull a little tiny more. This is folded right here. If you were really into like expert, like, you know, sewing underwear, you would stretch the elastic more around the bum, by the way. Oh, that's cool, Diane. I'm glad to hear that. I actually been really excited to make these, and then as I made my test pair last night, I was like, this is going to be such a boring stream and a noisy one. I forgot how unpleasant listening to the serger is. It's too bad I couldn't put it in like one of those blender boxes, you know, like when you go to get a smoothie and they put the blender in that box to cut down the noise. I could never work somewhere that I had to do that. I don't like the noise so much. I'm putting my hand there because I'm guiding it over these thicknesses. That's why I'm putting my fingers back here and pulling. And then when I get past that, you see I'm not as concerned with it. And then went, oh, I could, but then they'd fall on the ground. I was trying to understand what you're saying, Julie, because I'm like, I know what that means, but I was trying to understand the context of this. They'd just be sitting on the ground back there. You know what I mean? That's awesome, Christina. Who would have thought you would be the contrarian? Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm glad, you guys. You guys are so awesome. This serger has a nice sound, though. I will say, like, in person, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I've had sergers where I'm like, oof, this sounds like something's wrong. I've had more sergers than I have cover stitches. It's like back here in the bum area, you would normally stretch your elastic a little bit more. So sorry I'm not giving you those kinds of tips. Stop trimming that. Stop trimming that. Sheesh. Stop grabbing it. I'm just going to hope I cut some of these differently. This feels like a Twitch stream. I feel like that was a little bit of shade to Twitch. I love Twitch. I watch Twitch all the time, but this feels a little bit more like a makers and crafting stream. Oh, so bad. I'm glad probably none of you know. Ooh, it hesitated there. I didn't guide it. Wouldn't this be nice if I had matching thread? I actually have the perfect color thread too for this particular pink. Oh, it looks so cute. Look at that. That is really cute. Yeah, it really does. Like my other one was the Baby Lock Evolve. I actually think that one was quieter. I can't remember. I still have it. I should break it out some of these. You hate music streams? What do you mean? Oh, you mean like streams where they have music in the background? Yeah, I don't like that either. I like it in very particular settings, and it's rarely ever the right setting for it. I don't like it either. Not that I wasn't like playing music before you guys joined though. Okay, this fabric's really easy. Boy, get back in there. We're shaving some butt cheek and we don't want to do that. Oof. Oof. Maybe that one wasn't easier. The fabric was pretty easy, and then along that back side it was a little bit harder. Thanks for holding my elastic for me. I have two right here to sew. I just didn't have much fabric, so I'm going to experiment with some tricot that I've been wanting to try in a fabric band, so I will be doing that. Oh, that's this machine right here, Ray. Boop. Boy. I think these gussets are going in a lot better than my first batch of underwear, though. Look how cute that is on the gingham. This does seem kind of thick still. See that? It is thinner, though, but it's still thick. This fabric is kind of thick. This is that, like, shiny, like, spandex-looking legging fabric. This, oh, no, that one's not. This one is. This is the shiny. That one's modern jersey. It was almost the thong, exactly. All right. That's funny. I have two pairs of, but I only have elastic for one pair. My counting skills were not up to snuff today. We're shaving butt cheek again. Whoops. Look at how much I have left. Not good, not good. It's just the way some of these feed is so different. And like you know, because I'm starting like on the back leg on one leg, and I start on the front leg on the other leg, and you could, I guess, just try and do it so that you're starting on the same one both times, right? But you'd have to do it like this with the elastic blind, like underneath. We could try it. I'm a little nervous. A little nervous. Let's do it. Oy, I'm already feeling a little after doing so many. Is it sewing? Okay, we don't really want to pull here. This is the front. Like, I'm hoping I'm right up against the edge. It looks like I am. This is fine. I like this. I like when I can do this, hold them separately. This is ideal for me when I put two pieces together of anything, especially if they're opposite curves. I like to hold them both and place them where I want them, like this. Like butter. That was good. So yeah, then I could be making sure that I'm going the same direction on the, you know, underwear. I'll shave your cheeks for less. And like butter. No pun intended. Yeah, that's true, Ray. We saw someone new in the chat the other day, and there was a little conversation in the live chat feed, like, maybe it's Ray. It's funny because a few of you have different YouTube names. Like, sometimes I can't tell, you know? Let's do this stuff. Let's do the cream. But when I get a comment on YouTube and I'm in the creator studio, it's really interesting how names show up, because sometimes it's not the name we see. It'll have like your user ID number, like some generic thing. It's really weird. Yeah, you can be so fun. Exactly. Oops. Monica has her own YouTube channel. Who's the other one? Another one of you as well. I'm always like, oh, this is so-and-so. YouTube's amazing for anonymity, though. It's a little easier to be anonymous here. Unless you tell us. Oh, Tawanda. Oh, what's Tawanda's? No, I see her name in YouTube. Does she have another one? Hi, Missy. How's it going? You didn't. I'm only on the second step. I'm on the last pair for the second step. You are. What are you making, Terry? Oh, get over there. There we go. Oh my goodness, get over there. This fabric is the cotton lycra. It's a little grabbier. So maybe next time what I would do is like pre-cut all my leg elastic. I need to write this down. And put a mark so that I know if I'm starting from the front, I need to be here by this time. You know what I mean? Like this spot. I could just do a mark, and then I could do one for the, like, if I start from the back side as well. Well, it doesn't matter. It could be the same mark, as long as you pick up the elastic correctly. Monica's channel is about scrapbooking. Oh, you are, Terry. Oh, that's exciting. That's funny, Nancy. They are amazing. It's true, Daniel. Been here a while. Oh, see, this is, I don't know. All right, well, we're to our next step, I think. I want to count. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because we lost one. We had some attrition. It happens. Wait, oh, you went and quote in the raffle this summer? Oh, that's so cool. I actually, when I saw I won something, like I won in the chat, I've been eager to hear about Nancy's entries into the fair. Okay, so we have 2 waistbands here that I honestly didn't put a whole lot of prep into. But I did put some tricot to the back here, which maybe you can see better on this fabric here. See the tricot back there? And tricot is just an interfacing that actually has some stretch if you cut it the right direction. So this will still stretch. See, I don't want to stretch this too much but we're going to just do a waistband on these 2 because I'm experimenting with using tricot. I was cutting it close. Look, that's the crop mark for printing this fabric. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. But I don't think we need this whole piece either. We need like less than this. We just need, let's see. We need it to be about like, I'm going to trim it off at each end here. This end looks okay. I'm just going to trim it off at this end down here. All right, and same with this one. I have it pieced here because my tricot was only a certain width. So we're going to put a seam at each side. These are these little tiny scissors to cut this. I'm sorry, I'm cutting it. You probably can't even see. All right, so we have 2 waistbands. Let's put one on. We're going to overlock it together. You could do one whole continuous thing. I just didn't have the width for the tricot because I wanted the directional stretch. Okay, and we're just going to fold it wrong sides together. Let's iron this. Okay, we want our cherries right side up. So let's iron this one too after we serge it. Oh, you drop them off tomorrow, Nancy. Okay, okay. So you haven't won or lost yet. Okay. I'm expecting some big wins. Best in show. I don't know. What is it, the fair? I think I'm going to offset the thickness here. Probably should have put a straight stitch there before I did that, but you know, that's how we roll. I just clipped into the seam allowance and then offset the thicknesses at the cut edge. So here's one. This one's trash. So I did it like this. Just clip into the seam allowance right there and then offset it like this. Fold it. I do this at jeans hems too. I usually reinforce it though. Like I will put a little straight stitch along that seam to reinforce it. I'm not that cavalier. Especially with jeans. I put a lot of time into jeans. Aisha's kind of making me want to make some Dawn jeans. I'm trying to remember if I have, I do. Don't I have a non-stretch jeans pattern that I like though? Not that I don't like the Dawns. I like the Dawns, but didn't I refine? I did this spring, didn't I? I know I have my refined stretch pair. Yeah, I think I do. Maybe I should just use that because I have some non-stretch denim I got. What? Which one is it? This one? I don't know which. My Stream Deck is like it's like it's calibrated, but this isn't the usual. This button doesn't usually go this way, so. Favorite coming pairs of no elastics, fabric waistband, and the legs are turned up and hemmed. Oh yeah, that's nice. You mean your favorite underwear? Yeah, that sounds nice. You made tons of underwear with binding for myself, copy from a pair of, but I have so many jersey scripts for making my own t-shirts. Oh yeah, that sounds good. Jersey though, ugh. Jersey's so frustrating though. It depends on the jersey. It depends on the jersey. Some jersey, if it's just like regular old, like old school t-shirts, those don't have much stretch. Jersey's kind of like, meh. It's like the knit version of a woven, you know? So be careful. Don't put too much effort into it until you try a pair with those scraps because sometimes they are not great. But like a lot of these are jerseys, but they have, they're either like rayon or bamboo or cotton lycra. Or interlock. Those are what I have here. So, oh, that's right. You're making the worship jeans. That's right. I haven't refined the Morgans. I like the Morgans. I haven't made those in a long time, though. My pair I have are kind of kooky. First, second, third, and honorable mention. Okay. No blue ribbons. Rachel has an elastic. Okay. Have you ever thought about not cutting the elastic first, just stretching the... Yes. That's normally what I do. It is normally what I do. Absolutely, Rachel. I just did it differently today because I was feeling a little like I wasn't prepared. And I thought if I give myself some boundaries, I won't have to think about it as much. And it obviously led to more waste. So if you have a machine, like if you have an industrial serger, you can put an elastic meter on it. Then you don't have to worry about it. Oh yeah, Jan, that sounds good. Which pattern, Jan? Because I feel like someone made some of, maybe it was Mullen who made some of their jeans recently. Wait, I could be wrong about that. Sorry, I don't know. All right, now we're going to, we're actually top stitching a lot now. We're going to the cover stitch. So let's just swap the machine so I don't have to move the camera too much. Boy, I gotta swap the machine. I don't want to lose my cords back there. Now I don't know which cord was which. I think this one goes here though, let's see. I can't see the whole cord, like those slots. Let's see here. It's the foot pedal, that's why I'm swapping it. Damn, I got the wrong one. I don't want to deal with forgetting which foot pedal it is for the next half hour. You know? All right. So, in case you missed it at the beginning, if you have this cover stitch, my settings today are This is the 1500 Juki. I'm going to, sorry, I switched this knob right here to M, all right? I changed my presser foot pressure to L. These are kind of in the middle, like between the 3 and the 5, you know, so that's normal. I'm not using this one. I'm using 2 needles on the far left close together. So I'm doing the narrow one. And then over here, I have the length to 3 and the differential to N. I might change this. So that's where I'm starting at. This is partly with their recommendations and partly so, like me doing my trial. So I know, right? That's how I feel about both of my my stretch and my non-stretch. Here, we'll use these. Thank you for your sacrifice. Here, we can even test it on this. Let's see, this is a nice little sacrifice. We'll test it on here. I also have a lighter weight thread, meaning I have normal serger thread. I know you know I use a heavier weight serger thread usually, and I'm not today. I can't find the third. Oh, it's there. Okay, I'm just making sure. It was caught on something underneath. I'm not messing around with this. All right, let's just see how we go here. Ooh, this is like peppy. I do like the sound of this machine though. So this partly I'm trying to decide where I want to line up my needles. So I'm moving around a little bit right now. I want it right here. So if I line up this folded edge to this notch here, I think that that would be, I think I would like that. How is this? Is this, would you like me to make it not so bright? Yeah, these stitches look a lot better than my other one I made yesterday. All right, so now here's the real test, going over the thickness. Okay, that was a lot easier than yesterday. Woohoo! Okay. Okay, that worked. All right, so pull it out. That's awesome. I learned that from the instructions. So that looks a lot better through that juncture there. It's a little pushed here. I just got a skip stitch right there. So maybe not ideal yet, but it was a lot easier to do. So, all right. First victim. The thick part was easier because I changed my presser foot up here to L. I put light pressure. So if you don't have this machine, a lighter presser foot pressure, if you can adjust it, try that. The other thing that can help, so the settings that I was looking for in the manual today, and I had to rethread this from scratch, which almost made me cancel the stream because I just wasn't in the mood. There is a very subtle way to thread the looper on here that every time I do it, I forget. So I figured it out and I wrote a note in my book this time. But anyway, I was in the book, I was like, oh, let's look up, is there some ideal settings for when you're sewing elastic in particular? Because anytime you're sewing through something that's stretchy, the needles get kind of grumpy, right? So you want to have stretch or jersey needles anyway, but mostly you want stretch when you're dealing with elastic. It's different than jersey. So we're not just talking about like ballpoint. Ballpoint is specifically like that word, ballpoint. That's so that when you're piercing knits, you don't get a run in the fabric, right? The stitch width, the stitch width. I mean, I have the length and the differential, but the width is determined by the, because it's a double needle. So there's no width adjustment on here. Since you're using 2 needles, it's going to be the width of those 2 needles. I can't change the width. There's only a length and a differential, so I have the length at 3 and the differential is at normal. And there's advantages to changing the differential up or down for different reasons. So you might want to play with that. But sorry, yeah, there's no width change. If you're talking about the serger, I do have a width adjustment on that, of course. All right, here we go. Let's try this. So my goal here is to keep my fold edge with this little notch here. It wants to move it. This is really lightweight. So I'm just staring at this right here. I'm not looking at the sewing. Focus, 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 focus. You can look it up. Yeah, well, there's no adjustment. Okay, thickness. If you just mean like what's the width of it, like in general, I actually don't know that. I would say it's 3/16 of an inch. So like 3 millimeters. Right, because a 1/4 inch is like 6.3 and this is like a little, like less than half. Yeah, so I'm using, like I said, I'm using 2 needles and they're next to each other. So I'm using the left and the middle, so they're narrow. If I can use a triple needle, so I can use a 4-thread cover stitch or a 3-thread cover stitch. 3-thread means I'm using 2 needles and I can have it set here and here, here and here, or here and here, or all 3, if that makes sense. But as far as the machine specs go, yeah, I would just look it up, Google it or something, because the manual is behind me on the rack right now. This is another good spot to have that little tail right there. It just helps having something for your feed dogs between it and your presser foot. Okay, so this thickness, I'm kind of like spreading it out and flattening it a little bit right here at that juncture where the gusset is. See, it keeps pushing my fabric, so I'm going to release this, let the gusset kind of go like that. Because it's going like this, it's pushing the gusset, right? I'm not a fan of that. I don't like the way it sounds going over that thickness, that's for sure. Oops, I just lined it up to the wrong edge for a second there. Yeah, that's pretty good. Look at, that's right. You can tell immediately when I went to the wrong spot. Right here, see how much further that away is than this? This looks, all in all, this is looking pretty good. I'm not that keen on how it's looking over the thicknesses though, I will admit. It looks better on this one here. Skip stitch there. Okay, one down. Oh, hi, I didn't know you came over here. No, you're not being weird. I like questions. I don't mind it at all. Okay. If you were weird, you wouldn't even be able to type in chat. Because Carrie would be all over you. Terry would be all over you. Ooh, this one's thinner. This fabric's a little thinner. Oh, look at how close I got right here. Oops. I'm just smashing it a little bit. Ah, this fabric's so lightweight. It's gonna sew over it nicer, but it, I don't know. If you really want like ready-to-wear looking underwear, pick the same fabric and the same elastic for all of them, or at least the same brand, you know. Because this is kind of the wild, wild west, right? I'm using all different fabrics, all different elastics, and I'm actually more consistent than usual. This kind of is reminding me of when I would set up a new product for production sewing, and the first few, I every time would be like, oh, there's no way we're going to be able to do this in production. And then, you know, you figure things out. You experiment, you figure things out, and then when you start having other people start sewing it, they start coming up with things like, oh, we should do this. Oh yeah, we should do that, you know. So are you sewing? You sound funny to me. Oh, I broke a thread. I knew that sounded funny. This elastic feels a little different. You can't get the needles very high on this machine above the presser foot without putting the presser foot down. It makes it kind of hard to thread. We're just going to try and thread it and keep sewing, because I'm going to assume that it was the juncture, the gusset juncture, that threw it off. We'll see. Your baby lock never has any issues? Don't tell me that. My baby lock's in a box right now. That baby lock was awesome. I didn't change it out because it was bad, that's for sure. It's a really good machine. Oh, every time I come, this is the back. Every time I come off this particular gusset seam, the second gusset seam, I'm always a little too far to the left for where I want the top stitch to land. I gotta like anticipate that seam so that I get over to the right a little bit more. I want to see what happened here. Yeah, it was right here, this little section. Oh, that did it before I got to the juncture there. Oh, okay. Huh. Do we try and just add it back through here? Like, what happened? Huh. I can't really see what's what. Oh no, there are stitches in there. Oh yeah, look at that, it's too tight. Well, shoot dang. This, oh yeah, look, there's stitches right here. Not here, but right here. It got just too tight through here. It might, you know what it is? It might have caught on the feed dog. The looper thread might have caught on the feed dogs and held it back and pulled. I'll do this. I might not even need to, but I'll fix this later with my other machine. Okay. Here we go. I got a little off track there. I think you could get a different foot that would help hold you where you want to be. Because the middle toe of mine is like a little, like a hump jumper. So it's not as firm as like the outer edge of the foot. I'm gonna hand walk it. I don't want to have to rethread. I think it's fine, but I'm so nervous. Yeah, it's stuck back there. That's what it is. There's something getting stuck right there. I don't like that. Oh, it's really stuck this time. Well, shoot. Huh, what is that? What is doing that, I wonder? I'm gonna undo these two right here. It's the looper. It can draw off back there. It's tight here. I'm not sure what it's getting caught on. That's so odd. I don't know. Oh yeah, let's see here. Huh. Let's see if this is still threaded. Barely. So let's rethread this. Leave a 4-inch tail. Oops. It just does not like that thickness. This is why you want to do fabric bands if you don't have to top stitch. I know the real reason you guys are doing it. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. And you know what? Maybe I could change my needles. But that's what it feels like. It feels like it's getting caught on the feed dogs. Feed dogs are super sharp. If you ever sew plastics, you'll see how sharp your feed dogs are because sometimes it'll ruin the plastic you're sewing, like vinyl and stuff. You know, it's got to grab, you know, it's basically the fingers that are grabbing your fabric. This is my least favorite thing to do on camera, everybody knows, is threading the needle. And I thread the needle really weirdly, so I know. I don't make it easy on myself, that's for sure. Yeah, exactly. Edge guides, yeah, I don't, it's not really a, you know, like quilting will have edge guides, but not the cover stitch. Because the cover stitch you are sewing near an edge usually, but it varies. Okay, let's put some underwear aside here. We have a lot on our lap. Is this where it was? It was this pair? And what's going on with this pair? Why is this in my lap? It's just one of those. Okay. Let's get a piece of fabric. and see how we're doing. Yes. Oh yeah, exactly. And this particular Picot feels a little grabbier. I can feel it. Like butter. Right? Look at that. And that's the length grain, by the way. So it looks good, even though it's the length grain of the knit. Industrial cover stitch always have a removable edge. They do? I've never used one with a removable edge guide. I mean, I see those in YouTube videos. Maybe that's what it is, but yeah. Maybe it hooks to where these screws are. Like right here. Because the bed of this machine isn't metal, so it's not like you can use those magnetic ones. I've never used an edge guide, so I'm not sure how you use them on the cover stitch, so I'm sure they'd be handy. Okay, so here we are. This is a different pair. This is the thinner fabric though. I'm just kind of smashing this down. I almost brought the hammer in here to mash these junctures. I should have, huh? We're gonna just pull through and we made it. Okay. Sometimes just being really even with your speed and really gently pulling. Let's see if we do it again. I'm gonna kind of stretch this out. Mash it a little bit. Yeah, that worked better. Okay. All right. That was fine. Look at that. No, it wasn't. Look at that. It tells you to speed up over joins. Oh, yeah. We could try it. I specifically bought both of these machines because they say they go over thicknesses, and by and large, this one does way better than the Evolve did, for sure. And that's why I wanted this. Like, that's not why I bought this machine, but that's why I picked this one, because I didn't like how my Evolve didn't like thicknesses. Thickness changes, I should say. Julie says to speed up, but here I am. I'm stopped right in front of it again. That unthreaded my needle, Julie. Now it's Julie's fault. Yep, the Evolve Baby Lock. That's the other machine I had. I still have it. I was gonna sell it. I tried selling it a little bit, but then I had moved kind of rurally, so nothing was really moving on it. And then I was like, whatever. I set it aside, and now it's at home, sitting in a closet. Like, maybe I'll try it here. Just amassing more not more machines, but I'm amassing a little sewing studio at home now. I think even and steady is better when I go over the thicknesses. What time is it? Why is the DOG staring at me right now? He's just standing here, acting kind of funny. All right. Oh, sorry. Oh, this right here, is that what they're asking? Yeah, okay. He might. I don't know, Julie. Okay. What time is it? 1:30? All right. Maybe we won't do all 10. Maybe we can go to our next step, though, and do the few we have here. How many do we have? We don't have very many, though. Well, shoot. We have 3. Let's finish this one. This was the one. Nope. Nope, this one here. Do these. And we can do our next couple of steps. I can see the thread moving, and I keep thinking something's going on there. Hopefully now that we're on this Picot, see how it's, look, it's actually bunching up back there. It's a little too bright, sorry. That's why I think it's the feed dogs. Like, see it? See it? There. What is that? This right here, what is this? Yeah, there's something going on with it. I think I have come across this before, so maybe it's something I could be doing better as far as the setup goes, but I do feel like I come across this occasionally. You guys have seen it before. And it could just be my thread, like the kind of thread I'm using. So, he was sleeping, but he's right. I can't even see him. I can't turn the camera there. That's him right there, though. There's Velcro here. Where is he? Right there? There he is. It's not that dark down there, I promise. You know what? Maybe I will, Rachel, but won't I be disappointed if it's better? You know? That happens to you too? Yeah, changing. I think that's exactly what I need to do here, and I am so low on needles. I could try some universal. That's what it calls for. But should we do it? We can try. I have one stretch needle, but I have some universals, so I'm up for it. We'll change it, and then we'll go to our next step. We'll just try it and see, because I feel like it's usually, this kind of issue is usually a needle or a thread issue. Oh, I always suspect the needles. Needles are, when I hear people haven't changed their needles ever, I just think, I don't say what I'm thinking. I'm thinking you're lucky. You're very, very lucky. I'm going to try universals. I cringe every time I say that. Look how chunky these look. These look really chunky. These look like 16s. Wait. I find that putting the needles in these hole slots is really fiddly. Because it's one big slot for all of them. So you can't tighten one up too much. You won't be able to get the other needle in. That's what I've learned. All right. Let's give it a go. I'm always up for trying things out. I'm just going to make sure they're nice and tight. I always do that third one because if I lost that little screw, well, be out of commission for a bit. Bagel Loki, yep, exactly. My mom gave me new TREATS's, and I brought them to the office when she did. She goes, oh, I got this, and I got so many packages. Do you want one? And, well, she just gave it to me. And it's freeze-dried chicken. And I was like, cool, I'm just going to bring that to the office. Well, somebody's a fan. Somebody's a huge fan. He's right there now. He's like jumping up on me. He's like, I think it's your lunchtime, you know? Because he gets something at lunchtime too. But we have a bit to go, so he can't get too antsy right now. Let's just do a little test. All right. Looks good. Let's do it. Where'd we lose this one? Here, we didn't. Why can't I get this down? I really miss the overhead camera when we're doing stuff like this. Like, I really like the overhead and I can adjust it. They learned how to, oh, they did. Well, it's probably the triggers. We call them triggers, you know, certain things you do. Like if one of you were to leave right now and I said, you know, see ya, he'd start getting excited. That trigger. Ooh, this feels good. Let's hope. Is it sewing? It is. Have you ever had that happen where you're like, oh, that was a good thing to do? Okay. Okay. Goodness, why are you folded like that? I'm being a little cavalier here, putting it to the test. Okay. Except I got off track. I'm doing such a bad job today, it's really frustrating. Okay. Ugh. Like my sewing isn't very good right now. You probably can't tell. I can. It's just not as good as it could be. Like, I'm not an expert at this, but it could be better. All right, that feels better. That felt safer. Loki, go on, buddy. No, we're not. You know, you need to get out of there. You're about to sit on my foot pedal. Let's try this one right here at the juncture. Yeah. You don't have a dog, Daniel, I can tell. This is really putting it to the test. I really did just start that right in front of a seam. We're going to hand walk it a little bit. You know, I saw a few of you talking about the stream on a Thursday and how you guys got booted. You didn't get booted. The whole stream died. Like something about the internet, something happened with it, which I'd never seen before. And so we started again. So it's just a part 1. There's a link in the description to the other one, just so you know you weren't booted or something. I don't know why it did that. Neither of us could figure it out, so. All right. Do we do both of these? We did both of those. We need to do this one for the waistband, and then we'll go on to our second step, okay? Promise. Not second, but our third step. Oh, okay, sorry. This is a really different fabric, so. And this is a fabric I would think there'd be problems with because it's like a spandex lycra. So let's hope. All right, we're okay. Phew. Okay, that time I did a little better staying to the right after I went after that second juncture. It takes me like, I want to say if I was figuring out how to production sew something and the best way to do it, I'll sometimes sew 10 and then I'll be like, you know what? I think I have a whole nother way to do this, you know? And then I'll do another 10. But sometimes the 10 is enough. And you might figure something out like on the next production run. I need to trim this down a little bit. There we go. Yeah, it does sound better. Back stitch with the blind hem on the right. I don't think you could. I don't think you'd want to because it would, I think it does the next stitch and you may not want what the next stitch is about to be. But you can just, I'm trying to think how I used to do the blind hems. It's been a while. Okay, here we go. No problem. Oh, maybe a problem. No, I think it's fine. You know what time it is? Time to close the shade all the way. Because that sunlight right there is too bright. All right, okay. Well, I told you guys I didn't have any more stretch needles and I was worried and I went home looking for them and realized I don't have them at home. So I'm glad the universal's working. That looks really good. This looks really good. This has a couple skip stitches. This looks really good. The cherries are super cute, by the way. These cherries are super cute. Okay, let's put our waistbands on. We do need the cover stitch again. So maybe we could just slide this back here since it's smaller. I can move it over here. That work for you guys? These still need a little bit of sewing. And these are my waistbands. And then we have our fabric waistbands we're gonna do. So we're gonna first do one side seam. I'm not doing any labels today either, by the way. Oh, this is one thing I like to do on my industrial, sorry. Oh, okay, good. I thought I was gonna squish him, sorry. I had to make sure. See, why is this camera so funny? It's so hard to, like, that's not even the angle we had at the beginning. There we go. Let's hope I don't bonk it. All right, so this step is quality of life. I like to tack the ends right here with my regular machine inside the seam allowance. And this is because anytime I'm doing like a thickness like this, it's really hard to prevent your machine, like when you put it under here, from it pushing the top layer and then you get it off like that, right? So we don't want that to happen. So what we're gonna do is line it up, and I will often approach it like this, but you can have the same issue. This does not solve it. So just do what's comfortable to you. I'm gonna get all these threads to the, I'm actually gonna hold it like this. And I love using my awl for this. I'll hold it, stab it in there. I just tried to use the, I just tried to lift my presser foot up with my fingers. That was funny. I haven't lifted a presser foot up in a long time, but I have to do that on the serger and the cover stitch. Okay, so then now we have this ready to sew, because the serger would definitely push it off. That one could have been a little better, right? You don't have to do the whole thing. You just need to do that little thickness right there, okay? All right. Oh, nice, Monica. I love that. Yeah, you heard. Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to wake you up. That is one thing I love doing, is falling asleep, like background, like noise like that. I get it. I can't imagine I'm the kind of voice, but I understand the sewing machine. So it was really nice that I could do that hands-free, right? I could hold this and I was pulling like this, put it under there, let it go, and then sew, right? Because my heel and my foot is guiding the presser foot. We'll just put these over here. We're just doing one side seam right now because we're going to sew one side seam together and then attach our waistband elastic. Top stitch, and then we'll do our other side seam. This elastic, it's kind of funny. I want the edge, I was kind of debating whether I should mention this, but look at all that thread. Whew. So right here, so you see, if I'm not consistent with where I serge the elastic onto the underwear here, this width right here, can you see this? So the width right here, and I'm pointing at the elastic hanging out from the edge, that could be wider than it is on this one here. So say I use just a sliver of more seam allowance when I attach the elastic to this edge. That will place this seam right here different than this one. So then you have to choose, do you want these to match or do you want your edge to match? And I always go for the edge because that's more noticeable. So that's just one thing to think about. And it's, oh, sorry. And it's one thing I talked about in one of my streams this week was how I'm going to work on trying to be really consistent when I overlock my elastic on. And this is why, because it's really easy to think you're being really consistent, and then you get to this point and you're like, how could a 32nd of an inch be a big deal? It's kind of the only time it is, you know. You can finally see my little thumbtack. All right, that is We're just didn't top stitch this. Okay, so now we're ready to do our side seams. Oof. I've got this. Sorry, we got to spin. Don't look. There we go. No, I told you, I mean, I get them too, Julie. That's why I was going to work on it this time. I get those jogs too. I mean, I'm trying to make the edges match. That's what I'm saying. That's why I use my machine to tack them together. It's hard because now when we get to the serger, if you hadn't done that, you're not going to most likely get a matched edge. So unless you're using a industrial, it's really hard to get that edge to match. The industrial has just a lot of pressure. It really helps. So how does that look? It's okay. It's okay. I can't get any closer. So now we're just sewing one side seam. And I'm going to lift my presser foot as I go up over this to get it onto that thickness. Leave a tail, all right? Leave a little tail. Now, you know I like to do that little clean finish serger end trick. I don't do it on the underwear, and that's why that one pair I showed you today has that loopiness. That's why I'm not going to do it. I was experimenting to see if I could do it. If you don't know what I mean, it's not a big deal. But I like to clean my serger tail so that it's perfect on this edge here, especially like on the end of a fly for jeans or anything where you're going to see the end of the serging and it doesn't get enclosed. Oh man, are we matching stripes? Who signed us up for that? We're low-key matching straps, right? You know, so. Okay, lift up the presser foot, get on there, leave a tail. Okay, you just need to leave a tail at the bottom end, the leg hole end. So if you're starting at the leg hole, you're going to naturally have a tail. Like if I started here, you naturally already have a tail. And you don't need to leave it at the waist. You just need it at the end because we're going to secure it so that it is better, so it's more secure. Having the tail will help us. So now if I didn't lift my presser foot right now, and this is one feature you have to have in a sewing serger, is this feature where you can go like this. See that? So some don't. You'd have to use your presser foot lever, and that's fine too. But just remember that disengages your tension, so be really careful that you're not wiggling anything around. I'm just trying to get this onto the thickness here, because if I didn't, what happens is, because this is knit, it just keeps pushing it away. Like you can just keep sewing and it'll start bunching up the thread right here and pushing this away, because it can't get onto this hump of fabric. Leave your tail. I'm going to say it every time so that you remember it. You hear me say it when you do your little side seam. This almost feels like brushed poly. It might be. It feels so different than the other fabrics. Lift it up. Leave a tail. 2 more. It's like a jazzercise around here sometimes. I'm like, 2 more. That way you know we're almost to our next step. And you can not tune out. Okay. See how, look at, it's pushing it. See? Nothing happening. That's what I mean. Lift it up, get it on there, and then it can sew. Leave a tail. Last one. Okay. Lift it up. leave a tail. All right, so now we're gonna go back to the single needle. And now we're going to secure this little guy. We could do this later. I'm just going to show it to you now so that you know why, just in case you can't stay. So let me get rid of this back stitch right here. So now I usually look for which is my back. This is such a weird, awkward angle. So this is my back right here, and I'm going to press my seam toward the back, right? So I'm going to pull this tail really firmly like this. See how I'm even over-rotating that weird little, you know, piece of elastic that's in there? I'm going to pull really firmly. I'm going to stitch this tail into the seam allowance here. And now I can trim it down like that, all right? And it made it more blunt. So try and keep those little back stitches away from this edge. And sometimes, this is one of the quick fixes I did in the Guild, is that when I'm close to an end like this, and I'm going to show you what I mean right now. When I'm close to an end like this, I don't start here and then sew, like do my back stitch. I'll start here, like right here, and back up to it. That way my back stitch is over here and not right here at the edge. This is a really narrow edge to show all that, but I think you know what I mean. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to do 1 or 2 stitches forward. Then I'm going to go back to the end. Whoops, I kept going. Whoops, that was a bad example. And now I can go forward. And my back stitch would have been not all messed up like that. It would have been here rather than at this end, because you know you get those 2 little threads and they can look messy. So now this is nice and flat, right? And secure. 1 leg hold done. So again, I figure out the back, just this one here. I pull the tail really firmly into the seam allowance. Now you can try and do this all at one step, where you tuck that serger tail into here while you top stitch the from the right side. But I have found that I don't get as good a results as consistently, because it's just hard to manage all of those, okay? I can't not see the face cam, so I'm hoping it's okay. I don't look weird. I mean, this dress is really weird today. Does it look really weird? It's like hiked up because it's bias cut, and it just keeps kind of shimmy cocoa popping up my body. All right, so here we go. We're gonna start kind of away from the end. I do a couple stitches just to get it going, and then I back up to the, okay, I need to lift my presser foot, obviously. Maybe I need to hand wheel it. I'm having trouble getting onto the hump of the elastic. There we go. Or maybe not. Okay, this fabric doesn't like me. That's just how it is sometimes, but it's still secure. But look, it got all ratty right there. All right, that's 2. Where did I put the other one? Is this the one I did? Clearly not, right? No, okay. What's the other one I did? Where did I put it? Oh, it's right here, okay. No, that's the one I just did. This one. I don't remember now. All right. We'll find it. That's the front, this is the back. Pull this really firm. That has a little piece of elastic caught in the tail. That's okay, we're gonna hide that in the seam allowance. And trim all these threads as you go, it'll look tidier. All right. Thanks. I love the fabric of this dress, and I'm determined to wear it. It just feels funny when I'm wearing it. All right, so we're pushing this towards the back here, and I'm going to start a little bit higher onto the elastic. I need to lift my presser foot. I pulled it so that I can stitch a stitch, like I moved it instead of the feed dogs moving it. There we go. And now I can back up. Maybe. Oh, come on. See, this is what I mean by your feed dogs are super sharp. Sometimes your feed dogs just will not let it pass, or it gets caught on it with all these little threads back here. Just get it nice and flat. Get rid of that thread right there. All right, and there's this one. So you see how, look at how messy that looks. See that little like triangle right there? We're pulling really hard. See that? Pull hard. Get it in there. You're the boss, right? Get rid of all this excess. Get rid of these thread tails. That's the back. This is the back. Okay. And you know, like, see, this one didn't stay very lined up. Here's my Picot and here's my Picot. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my awl. You're not going to be able to see this very well. And I'm going to pull this like this. Pull it like that. You see that? So see how there, this edge right here is taller than this one. See when I fold it over? So that one didn't get lined up very good when I tacked it. So now I'll take this and I'll pull it over. And I usually like to do this sewing down toward it, and that's because the presser foot's going to help me shift this fabric. I'm going to let it shift the fabric. So let's start this, and then I'm going to pull it. Let's push that guy in there. There we go. And that helped line it up better. Okay, get rid of the threads. It's nowhere near time, buddy. I'm sorry to tell you. We start out doing 10 and then we whittle down to what are, I'm 4, and then the DOG is going to be like, no, you can do 2. This is the back. It's a little easier to come toward the hem sometimes, but you can get stuck on it, so I get worried. But I can feel those feed dogs wanting to grab all those loops of thread. And I do it from the right side because the stitching naturally looks better. Oof, that might be a little messy. You know? Why not do them all? Like, what do you mean, like the... Do what all? Like all, the whole side seam? And I will do the other leg elastic, and I'll do the waist as well. See how here I did it at the leg and the waist, because this is the last seam we do. And then the seam we're on right now is this one here. So we're doing this leg, and this one is the side seam we just sewed. So then we're going to do the whole waist elastic, and then this will be, this is that open edge right now. This one right here. This is the open edge. So when we sew this seam, we're going to do the same thing. Leave a tail at both ends, pull it in, and secure the tack at each end. So we will, if that's what you mean. Oh, so the inside to the edge. Because because you're on the thickness, that's a good question. So let me get another one of these. So because, let me secure this thread tail. This is the back, yeah. Let me secure my thread tail in here. This one's really wonky. Because you can if you like. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I just find that because we have all of this in here, all these thread loops and things, there's a lot more for my particular feed dog to get hung up on. I don't know about yours. Maybe yours is not so grabby, but mine's really grabby. Not as sharp as my Serger. My Serger's is bigger. Like, it's kind of interesting if you look at your feed dogs between your machines, how different they are. So, anyway, so let's see here. So if I start up here, it's thicker. Like I'm on this hump here of thickness. And so then it's like so much thickness there that it's more likely for the feed dog to kind of grab it. So when I start and go backward, it's kind of like your reverse on your car. That gear's a little higher and there's something about it that pulls it backward easier than it makes it go forward. Yeah, when you start thinking about your feed dogs, you start realizing, oh, yeah, mine are kind of grabby, or they aren't. We'll try it on this one. We can go back. Oh, this is actually the same way I do. I go a couple stitches forward, then I go backward. I like to stop my stitching, though, away from the final edge. Oh, my thread cutter didn't cut that thread. That's funny. That's very rare. It means I pulled it out faster than it could do it. All right, so we have this one done. Didn't we do this one? Yeah, we did this one. This one's already sewn. What about this one? Is this, this one's not top stitched. Okay, we're to our next step. Loki, get up, buddy. Come on. My little pork bun. I have to turn the camera that direction because my cord's so small, short. I don't want to get new cords because I'm getting more cameras. Although it might be a while before I get my new cameras hooked up. Okay, so now we're going to do our other side seam, and then we get to sew our waist elastic on. Oh, we should have tacked these. I'm getting punchy. We should tack these first. I'm sorry. Tack your leg holes. Let's move all this out of the way. There we go. Guy, we've been live for 3 hours. Oh my goodness. Hardly an argument to make these affordably, huh? Granted, I am taking a lot longer streaming it, but still. How about we do, we don't have very many. Never mind. I'm going to do them all. I don't know why I left that thread there when I started sewing. I don't let my serger trim that off because I don't want it to work harder than it needs to when it's doing this little step here. So I just trim it off. So we're just securing these so that our edge is nice and flush, and then I'm getting rid of my threads because why would you leave them to cause you future problems, okay? Who knows what this is? Oh, it took a bit to get going, it looks like. Bummer. That's funny, Rachel. I think you're usually in one of two camps with live streams. It's background while you do things and you're not watching or paying attention. Like the live stream you're not interested in is the perfect one for that, right? Because it just feels like, oh, I have a companion with me. I don't have to closely pay attention. Or you're actually interested. So yeah, I get it. Same for me. I'm actually surprised there's so many people still. You guys are hanging on for a long stream. I appreciate it. All right, that was our last one. get rid of my back stitches here. Now I know why the DOG is restless too. He's like, okay, it's lunchtime. He doesn't get lunch or anything. He likes watching me eat lunch. All right, now we can go over here. It can be, Daniel. It also can be really frustrating. You know? I don't either. That's why I wanted to do it. And I did it originally because I still had my factory, and I just wanted to help other people, especially anybody who was production sewing, because there were so many people that didn't have the industry training, and you don't need it. It helps. Leave the tail. We're in leave the tail territory again. No, we're not. You guys! No, we don't want to attack our leg hole. I don't know why. I am getting punchy and hungry. We wanted to put on our elastic, our waist. Holy. Okay, we'll just leave this like this. That's okay. But we're putting our elastic on right now. We're not doing it what I just did. Oh my goodness. Oh man. All right, so one side is softer, so I'm just looking for that side right now. And we're gonna serge our waist on. Oh my goodness. All right, so I usually get it in there, line up my other end with the end, which is right next to the beginning now because I did that. And I'm going to, I'm pulling this and stretching it so that I know where the halfway point is. And now I can just hold it and sew. This is a lot less fussier than Picot, unless you have a curling edge. So if you didn't mark your halfway point on your underwear and your elastic, you can just do that. Like I just stretch it, make sure that this is secure over here before you're pulling on it. You don't want to bend your needles. Make sure your side seam gets pressed the same way you just sewed it down here. Get the elastic closer to the edge here. If you're using an elastic that's a little bit thicker, especially if it's not a lingerie elastic, your presser foot, it might get bullied by the elastic might get bullied by the presser foot and it'll like get squeezed out. So you gotta manage it. There we go. So now we have our waist on here and we do the cover stitch step again. This is different elastic, yeah. I am a little loopy. Yeah, live streams are a little bit of work. I really like it though. It's becoming though for me the thing I do that is for me, because if you want to be able to survive like financially, live streams are not it. Not in sewing. You just can't. So the way I try and look at it, because I really believe in it. I really think it's really helpful. It's not for everybody. Like there are people that they just don't like you live streaming. They do not like you being even good or bad or whatever it is. They're just weird. People are just weird. But if you find people that are just like open-minded and can go along for the ride, they're like to interact, they are genuinely curious, their self-esteem isn't like threatened by whatever, like the people around them, like in the chat or you or whatever, it can be such a really nice time. You know, it's such a nice way to hang out and talk about things you love, you know, sewing. But it's not like gaming. You're not going to make a lot of money live streaming specifically. So I have to supplement. I have a community and there are some paid members in there. The community is free to join and is quite large. And then I also took on a job helping out in a pattern company's forum. So I'm their like fit expert is what they call me. And I also make videos, how-to videos for pattern companies or whoever asks for it. I had a fabric company hire me this spring too. So the live streams are now the hobby part of my sewing. So yeah. It looks more like bra elastic. I think you could use it for a bra. It's just labeled as lingerie elastic. I just like something with a little more oomph for the waist, you know. I do have, a lot of my favorite underwear though are just that Picot at the waist, so you can do that. I do sponsored live streams, but I don't also, so just to be clear, I know I do sponsored live streams, but I don't get paid for those. So, not to, like, I didn't want to not acknowledge the fact that I'm really thankful that people give us projects to sew, but I don't get paid for that. So they are kind of a hobby to do that. I like it. I like doing those because we get such a great variety of projects, things I wouldn't normally pick out, fabrics I wouldn't maybe have picked, and I think that's really fun. All right, so again, I just get it started. I find the other end here. I hold it, and then I stretch it to where the halfway point is. I hold it at the halfway point is. I realign it here. Because it gets, I pull it out a little bit by accident, and then I get going. Your underwear loose. Oh, thanks, Daniel. I appreciate that. Awesome, Fiona. It's nice to see you, Fiona. I'm glad you're getting a little sewing time finally in. I know things have been just cuckoo for you. Making sure my side seams pressed the same way. All right, so we have, this is the one that was getting the waistband. So we have this one with the waistband. And admittedly, I think I would do a wider waistband, but I didn't have any enough fabric to do anything wider. So I'm sure people are gonna be like, that's kind of narrow. So let's see how it goes. So. Thanks, Julie. You just like it when I'm snarky. I really hope I like the fabric band over the elastic, to be honest. I'm having trouble stretching that though without it curling too much. We need it to be nice and flat when it, you want to catch all 3 layers. And if that underfolded layer gets curled, it won't get caught in the waistband. Granted, I'm using a really wide serging stitch. I'm totally aware. My waistband's also in a couple of pieces because my tricot isn't wide enough to, did I hang off this at the, oh, okay, good. I think I could though, honestly. Side seam, there we go. We're almost to our next step. Yay! We've had a little attrition, but we kind of knew that would happen, right? All right. So my only complaint with my waistband I did last time was that I didn't top stitch this edge here. And I feel like this gets crumpled, and that's one of the reasons also why I wanted to add the tricot in here. This looks really nice though. You could put elastic in there too. I brought over my, that's funny. I brought over my clear elastic to try in here, and I totally forgot. No, there's not elastic in there. Sorry, I didn't see that comment. There's not elastic in there, but you could. Okay. I'm just going to move some of this stuff here. I got all these clips ready, but who are we kidding? I have always intentions of using things like that, and then I just don't. Fabric Retreat. Hi, Joanne. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Okay. What do we think? Top stitch it? I say we top stitch it. It's an experiment. We're top stitching it. Sorry, you don't get to say. This should be a little easier though, right? And we have our shiny new needles. We sewing? Doesn't even feel like we're sewing. Okay. How's the camera? It's okay. Not great, eh? Monica, you're awesome. Thank you. I do look like when I upload a video for, I don't actually, I have to admit, I don't actually look at thumbs up unless I'm looking at all of the videos as a whole on my channel, because there's a percent, it gives me a percentage. And there are times where, like, and I think this is true for most people with a channel, they'll go through a phase where they'll get like 1 thumbs down for like 6 videos in a row, and I'm pretty sure that's just someone who's just whatever, weird. Especially when there's like 59 really great comments, you're like, okay. But I do look for comment numbers because comments are really important. And I look at views because, especially the guild videos, I'm like, okay, they're not watching it. They're not interested. They don't get a video. I'm going to put it on the channel instead. They're like, we got enough of Saremy. Do we think this is oversewn? I don't think so. It's nice and stretchy. It feels good that the waistband's going to stick straight up now and stay that way. I like that, you know? All right, so now let's do this on the elastic. This is different elastic than our legs. I really wish the lever was here. My baby locket's right here, I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong about that. Seam. Here we go. No problem. I actually think this elastic's a lot easier than the Picot because of all the loops on the Picot. Yeah, exactly. Hi, Marilyn. I think I said hi to you. Thanks, Monica. You know, though, I understand how people are like, no, I don't want to interact with it because then YouTube will give me ads for something, or it'll think I want content, more content like this, right? That's not how it works, but I get it. Because I get that way too, you know, I'm like, okay, I'll start watching a lot of DaVinci Resolve videos, and instantly I start getting recommended a lot of them. Oh, shoot, I'm doing really bad here. And I'm like, no, YouTube, this stuff is like hard. I want fun stuff in my feed. But YouTube knows, like, I've been getting some really good DaVinci videos lately. It's either that or gaming videos, right? I sewed this so badly, but it went so smooth. It's not that bad. Oof. We're in our waistband era. Now watch me get a copyright strike for doing that. This is like so easy. I'm staring right here. I'm this little middle node there. I'm just trying to keep it in relation to the fold, right, or the seam here. We all know I'm not the greatest here about this stuff. Okay. Home stretch. Look at that. That looks good. Pretty good. You know, it could be better, but hey, I'm happy. All right. Tack. Oh my God, Monica. What? Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. You know, what's really funny is how YouTube will tell me your viewers also watch videos from these creators. And I'm like, huh, let's see who they're watching. I'm going to see if that pops up now. Okay, we tacked this one. Did we tack all these? Wait. Did we tack all these? We don't need to be over here. Oh, we need to do the waistband. Yeah, okay. Okay, we did the leg, right? Now we're going to tack the waistband here. Exactly. Don't check you out. No, I can't tell. I can't see what you watch. It just says your viewers also watch videos by these creators, and it just shows me that. It's very easy to be anonymous on YouTube. Till you're connecting your credit card. Then YouTube knows who you are. They know who you are anyway because of Google. Google owns it. You can't be anonymous. There's no way, like as far as like that goes. But you can be an anonymous user to the people you're interacting with. It's different like Twitch. If you're watching Twitch stream, you can see everybody who is in that stream. Exactly, Daniel. I know. Tell her you guys make me a lot slower though. Just blame it on my chat. I would do things a little differently. Sorry, that was like really close to the camera because I'm trying to get close to my face. I mean, if you're making them for her though, she doesn't have to worry about it. But yeah. That's how I am about bras, but I'm coming around. Bras are just so expensive. So are underwear, honestly. Ones you like. I still have some ready-to-wear ones, though, that I like. They're really old, though. They should be retired. Live streaming and real sewing are not the same thing. Because I can make myself a pair of jeans in a couple of hours. If I live stream that, that's a 3-hour thing. You know, it takes me like 30% longer. T-shirt, that takes me 20 minutes to sew, and hem. If I live stream that, easily 45 minutes. It's your guys' fault. That's cool, Jan. I made some for Michael. He likes them too. Yeah, it does. It does take a lot longer. That video I put on today, like I said, it was originally for the guild, the community. I really hadn't brushed my hair yet. And in the beginning, I'm like, wait, I have my mic on, right? Like, I had checked it, but I wasn't sure if I was wearing it. So, you know, oh, this is the cover stitch. I don't want that. I want my serger. But that was a really fast video to make, and anything drafting related or standing at my table is so fast to make because I don't have to cut fabric or do anything. All right, so here we are serging, and we're leaving a tail before and after. Tail before and tail at the end. And you might need this tail to help pull this through like this. Guide it a little bit, kind of help it along. That looks a little bad right there. Where's my scissors? Oh, maybe, oh, it's just that the Picot's there. Okay, that's okay. That actually turned out okay. Whew, we are on the home stretch. Thank goodness, I'm hungry. Why do I flip my cutting mats upside down? I don't know what you mean. You mean my white ones? The white ones? Those aren't upside down. What makes you think they're upside down? It does? Oh, is it because of because you can see my grid underneath and it's faint? Because I know what you're thinking of actually. Okay, so there's a story with this. So that's a rhino mat, and I had it cut to fit the table itself, and it's separate from the grid. The grid is a piece of paper underneath that they gave me to fit it as well. So they used to make those mats with the grid printed on the top, right? And they may still do that. I ordered one from these guys. I think it was called like Speedball or something. It was their name. And I got it. I was so excited. I got the new mat out because I was excited to have a grid. Because I used to have to go to like a plastics place in town and buy a sheet of PVC. That's the only way you could get a cutting mat that would fit a really big table. Now you can get them to fit, and it's great, right? So when they print that grid on the mat, the blue grid, I'm a pattern drafter, and so I use a lot of paper and tape and everything like that. And I used it, and within 5 minutes, I had a piece of tape sitting there on the table because, you know, I tore it off, stuck it on the table, and I was going to pick it up and use it. And it lifted the blue ink of the grid off, right off. within like a half hour, my whole ruler along the front of that grid was gone. It was like chewed up. It looked terrible. Whoops, wrong thing. So I had to fight with the company to return it. And they were like, we'll just send you a new one and you can keep it. And I was like, I don't even want it, you know? So when I saw that I could get the kind without the grid and with the printed paper, that's why I do that. I don't use the grid just as, I use it just kind of like as a, oh, I'm cutting lots of pieces that are 24 inches, or what's this roughly measure, or a fabric layout. I don't actually, I'm not a quilter. If I were a quilter, I'd want a more accurate grid. So that's why it's not, it's actually crystal clear. It's just faint because you're seeing it through a 1/4 inch of PVC. So, all right, so now we're going to tack our ends and then we're almost done. This is the last step, I think. This is the last step, I think, if I'm keeping track, right? So now we have our, yeah, thanks for asking. And I'm sure you're not the only person to wonder that, like why it looks so faint. You'll see, if you look again next time, you'll see that there's like postcards slipped under it. That kind of gives it away. So, all right, here is the back. So we're going to pull our tails to the seam allowance like this very firmly. I know, Pug Pug. I know, trust me. I feel the same way, buddy. Trim all this. Same thing with this one. So we're just, this little step that we're doing, you can do this on sweatshirt cuffs. Anytime you are sewing your seam through the finished edge, do this. Okay, and then here is the back. Yeah, okay. So now we're going to, and see, I could see a little bit of the Picot is sticking up there. So we're going to try and pull it under. It's actually is lined up, but it's that Picot. Roscoe Picot train. Always do all that trim. I'm going to trim this. That looks better. And then we'll do the leg. There we go. And then they're done. I sewed one pair last night and it was so much faster than these. Okay. Here we go. This looks really cute. They are definitely good details. They make them last longer and more comfortable. I gotta do some doctoring on that leg hole there, but there we go. That's pretty good. I like this fabric. Stripes are, you know, optional, optionally matched. So here's this one. This is the back. Christina is a one-person factory. She gets so much done. I love seeing what she makes. All right. Pull this really firmly. This is when you want to calibrate your auto back tack to do this. You'd have less threads probably, if you have auto back tack, you know. So see how this is a little bit misaligned right there? Let's fix it. We are the boss. I'm going to start at the end of the cover stitch right here. Whom? You. All right, and then we're gonna pull this down. Solved. And then we have the leg, right? Yeah, okay. Two more, and then you're allowed to leave. I spend more time just trimming my threads. It's really the difference sometimes though, you know? Making it look good. These look better than my last pair. Partly I think this elastic is better. And the last time I made these, we were coming out of the panini. And their elastic was just everywhere, was just so sparse. You know, like they were using all resources to make mask elastic. So there just wasn't any. It took years for Waywack to get this in, you know? So I love the way this Picot matches this fabric though. It looks really good. This one, I just totally, yeah, I broke the thread. Yeah, the Sewing Fairy was not putting up with me there. I was like, I did such a bad job. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, my machine has the auto back text. It's like, oh, it's under my Stream Deck. I Velcroed my Stream Deck to it, but it's I can do like a label. I could set it up to sew the perimeter of a label or anything like that. Do I have, do I still have bobbin thread? Yeah, I do. Do I? I don't think I do. Oh yeah, we do. Okay. Yep, it's from Waywack. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, mine does that too. I never use it. I can put it on. It's really easy to put on the back tack, but I use this because I don't really need the other thing. Where is it? Here it is. Let's see here. Come on, you got it. Get onto that hump. Doesn't want to. I'm still pulling the thread through there. Did you see that? The antics that your machine can get up to sometimes, you know? Get rid of some of these little, I trimmed those threads but left them in there. This is going to be a problem. This is already a little bit, you see that? It's going to be a problem. This is the one the Sewing Fairy was like, no, 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 don't you dare take the easy way out. I'll go from the, there we go. That actually kind of smoothed it out too. All right, another one. One more. I hope I have a good lunch today. Usually this is my like treat day where I will do some like personal sewing in the afternoon, watch a game or a movie, and I go and get something yummy from somewhere. But I brought stuff today. I wasn't going to do that. And I was also going to get my website. I totally have been forgetting to update the website for all the projects on the stream, which I usually do. So it's a few projects out of date, and I just remembered it the other day. I was like, oh yeah. So I thought I'd do that instead. But now I don't know. Okay, so let's just cleaning up all that thread, then it got stuck to my hand. This looks so good, look at that. I mean, it's lined up pretty good. That spacing's pretty good. My stitching, my top stitching isn't the same distance away from this edge, but the seam is pretty good for me. For me. My fingers are working hard right there, pushing and pulling that fabric through there. Oh my goodness, Terry. Yeah, that piecing, you're literally making fabric, Terry. I'm excited for our blazers though. One of my fabrics shipped, the Etsy seller shipped, the fabric company hasn't shipped. But man, what a testament to hearts. Like, I ordered fabric from them like 4 hours later in the day, like at 6 p.m. than 2 other fabric places. And when I woke up in the morning, they had already shipped, come on. They had already shipped my order. I'm gonna ooze that back a little bit. Get it off the hump there. They're so fast. That was it. The last ones. Doo-doo-doo. Let's check out the bounty of booty holders. Okay, come here. I know, Bubs. I know, Bubs. Oh, you have thread on your mouth. Come here. You want to say hi? Here. Oh, come here. Oh, my goodness. Ooh, what a chunk. Let's see. Right. There we go. Hi. He's hi. Oh yeah, look at, he's got thread hanging off of him. Whew, big old sigh. He's like, finally she's holding me. There you go. The bounty of booty holders. Here we go. We have coming in pink stripes. Right? Pink stripe, white waist, pink Picot. He has been playing in Lint Lava. He's been sleeping in it. I sweep all the time though, so not too bad. Lime green, I really like these. This is my only fabric waistband we got because I accidentally sewed those others together. So I have to take out a little bit. Nice. These are pretty. They look really good. These look better than usual, even though I had a little trouble. And another pair of pink stripe. And then maybe I'll finish these other pair. So here's my cherries, but they, oh, sorry. I could just put the waistband on in a, I don't need to take it out. I'll just put the waistband on in a circle. But here's my cherry ones. Very cute. And then we have a few others that are almost done too. Nice. Cool. Yeah, that's a good haul. And you know, getting reacquainted with the knit sewing again. So thanks you guys. Thanks for coming along. My next streams are the week after next, and I'm going to be sewing a unlined blazer. I'm using the Auburn blazer by Cashmerette. I've sewn that before on the channel, and we did it as a sew along, so I did like one little chunk every Saturday. So, and I sewed it proper. I sewed it mostly like the way they do in the instructions. This time I'm going to take that pattern. I'm going to make a few fit tweaks since I've been wearing it for a couple of years now. I'm going to also make an unlined version of it. So if you're interested in how to make it unlined, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to sew the unlined version, I guess, in 2 streams. I don't know. We'll see. I may have to set a lot of time aside that week to put that blazer together because there may be a little bit of off-camera prep so that you don't have to, sit through that. So if you want to join me, Terry's joining me. I have 4 fabrics set aside to make blazers. None of them were good for unlined, so I'm doing a blue corduroy one. So hopefully I like it that way. So Thanks for coming. Yeah, well, me too, Terry. I may be doing some off camera because since it's online, I'm not going to interface the whole front, right? So it's not a hard thing to sew. I am not a couture sewist. I am not a tailor sewist. So I am going to sew it Saremy style, a little easier. I don't know if I'm going to be doing shoulder pads or not. I'm going to assume not, but I might, right? So, Lane, I love that. Oh, good. I'm so glad, LM. That's awesome. Yeah, thanks for coming, Daniel, and interacting with us. We love it. So, yeah. So anyway, if you want to come along for the Blazer Sew Along, October is most likely menswear sewing month because I didn't do it this July. So I'm probably going to do it, and I'm thinking the Sanders button-up by Elba Textiles, and then some selfish gift sewing of some Fairfield button-ups. So if you are down for that, I'll be doing that. I'm even thinking about doing a blazer class, so we'll see about that too. So October, yeah, next month. I usually do a whole month of menswear in July, and I didn't get to it this year. So we're just going to do a soft menswear month. I have no idea where my mouse is. Oh, here it is. All right. Have a great weekend, you guys. Nice sewing with you. Thanks for coming, you guys. And join the Guild. The Guild's a free community to join. Really awesome group of people there. It's free. You can support me through there by becoming a paid member. And the paid membership is like, you have access to all the skill building sessions, which are chonky, chonky, chonky. And you can post any question you want in the Guildies group, and I will answer it personally with video and everything. If you're like, I'm fitting this thing and I'm having this trouble, I do that for people there. And I don't know what else to say. There's just a low-key paid support thing in there called supporters, and that's just like $5.99 a month if you just want to throw a few bucks my way. So, all right, I'll see you guys. I'm done plugging myself. I hate doing it. So, see you guys. Bye.